The only difference on this side is that there's a fraction. I am still going to do all the same steps. I'm going to plug this number in for x. I'm going to multiply, and I'm going to add or subtract, in this case subtract, and then I'm going to get my point and I'm going to graph it. Okay, so the only thing that's new here is that we have to multiply by a fraction, okay, which is not as intimidating as you think it is. So here's 2/3, and instead of x, I'm putting -6. Okay. Now, I'm going to multiply 2/3 times -6. Okay, I'm going to get my answer. I'm going to put it there, and then I'm going to subtract 2, and I'm going to get my answer. Okay, so I'm going to, over here, I'm going to do 2/3 times -6. So 2/3, this is, so I'm going to take this work right here, I'm going to do it over here so you can see it. Okay, now, here's how I do it. I'm going to take this -6, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it into a fraction. How do I change a whole number into a fraction? I put it over 1. Why? Because this is just -6 divided by 1. So we know that -6 divided by 1 is -6. So these are actually the same number, and I'm just writing it in a different way. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write it like this. 2/3 times -6 over 1. Okay, now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to multiply across the top. So 2 times -6, positive times negative is negative. 2 times 6 is 12. And I'm going to multiply across the bottom. 3 times 1 is 3. And then, finally, I'm going to divide. -12 divided by 3 is -4. Okay, so I just did all this work, 2/3 times -6. I just did this, and I got -4. I'm going to bring that down. And then I'm going to subtract -4 minus 2. That's 4 negatives, 2 more negatives. That's -6. Okay, I get -6 here. Okay, so here are the steps. If I'm multiplying by a fraction, right, the first thing I'm going to do if I want to multiply by a fraction is I'm going to make the whole number, I'm making the whole number into a fraction. Okay, how am I doing that? I'm putting the number over 1. Okay, then the next thing I do, then I have 2 fractions and I'm just multiplying them. How do we multiply fractions? We multiply across. Okay, we multiply across both the top and the bottom. Look, I did 2 times -6, I did 3 times 1. Okay, and then what we end up with is just one fraction, and we know that this line means division. So the last thing we do is we just do that division. Okay, so let's do it again, right? This one, I already got this point. I said, oh, when x is -6, y is also -6. So I can plot that point, right? That looks like this. It actually turns out to be all the way down here in the corner. All right, let's do another one. Y equals 2/3. This time, instead of x, I'm plugging in -3. Okay, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do 2/3 times -3. So I'm going to write 2/3 times, I'm going to change -3 into a fraction by putting it over 1. Now I'm going to multiply. 2 times -3 is -6. And 3 times 1 is 3. And then I'm going to divide. -6 divided by 3 is -2. So this math right here, 2/3 times -3, I brought it over here to do it. That equals -2. And then I'm going to bring down this -2. So I get -2 minus 2, that's 2 negatives, 2 more negatives, that's -4. So that's this point, -3, -4. So I'm going to graph that, -3, -4. Oh, it's right here. Okay, let's look at this next one. This one is nice because when we multiply by 0, anything times 0 is 0, even if it's a fraction, so I don't need to do any extra work. 0 minus 2 is -2. So this point is 0, -2. That's right here, and I feel good about this because, look, I'm starting to see that my points are falling on a line, so that's good news, right? I can even kind of like guess where my next point is, right? Like my next point, I'm plugging in 3. Like, where's my line going to be when x is 3? It's right here. Let's see what I got. Y equals 2/3. Now this time I'm plugging in +3. Okay, now I want you to observe something because I've already plugged in -3 here, right? And 2/3 times -3 was -2. So you might have a guess about what 2/3 times +3 is going to be. And feel free to kind of use any shortcuts you discover. But I'm going to write 3 as a fraction, 3 over 1. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Right? I just followed those steps. I wrote 3 as a whole number, I multiplied across, and then I divided. So this 2/3 times 3, that's 2. Bring down minus 2, and hey, that's 0, which is hopefully what you were expecting after you saw me sketch on this graph, right? If I see I draw the straight line, I end up at this point right here, 3, 0. Okay, let's predict what it's going to be, because the last thing I'm plugging in is 6, so let's predict what it's going to be if I keep drawing a straight line. I'm hoping to get 2. Okay, look, I'm going to draw it lightly. I'm hoping to get 2 here. Let's see what happens. Y equals 2/3 times 6 minus 2. Okay, now notice, look, I had already plugged in -3. Look, I got -2, and when I plugged in +3, I got +2. Here I plugged in -6, I got -4. So you might have a guess about what's going to happen when I multiply by +6. Right? 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3. Then I divide, I get +4. Okay, this is 4 minus 2. Y equals 2. Yes, that's what I was hoping to get. Remember, I said, okay, this is the point, 6, 2. And there it is. And there's my nice straight line, which is what I want to see. Okay, you're going to go ahead and try these two.